Yo, welcome back for another episode of Southern Hospitality, where me and my sister Gabby talk about the Black millennial experience in America. I'm your co-host Landon Moss,
And I'm Gabby or Lauren Moss.
and today we're gonna talk about
Motivation, distractions, being in your comfort zone, being outside of your comfort zone, and what we unlearned or learned today.
and I'm going to start that thing off. If that's cool with you.
That's fine.
Cool.
Jump into it.
So I recently learned how to DJ. Well, let me not say learned how to. I'm in the process of learning how to. Because if you don't know, I play a lot of video games. Every time you call me, I'm playing a game.
Yeah, every single time.
If I'm in the house. But like it's just my thing. I'm always playing a game and everything. So I had acting. One of the things I was doing for my acting class, we have to have like an activity. So mine was taking apart my PlayStation. I was, because it's got to be hard. So I was over there struggling a little bit and getting real frustrated, and I ended up like breaking my joint. So now the red light came on, and every time I turn it on, it's like beep 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 beep, and I'm like, yo, I really just broke my PlayStation. So that shit got me high. I'm not gonna lie, I was heated. I damn near threw it out the window. But
Wait, so what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with it now?
I took the hard drive out. Now I'm just throw it away. Like it's nothing I can. It's broken. I don't feel like repairing it.
Are you
But
sure it's broken?
I know. I'm sure I could like take it somewhere and get it repaired.
Oh,
But the thing is, after it broke, I started looking into other things, and I actually looked into DJing because I was at a friend's house one time, and his roommate was doing it, and it was like real dope. I'm like, oh, this is kind of dope. So like, let me go ahead and just buy this little board and you know what I'm saying, mess around with this thing a little bit. So I got into it, and I literally the night that I got it, for like 8 hours straight, just on YouTube looking stuff up, just experimenting, and I didn't realize how fun it is. Like, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And if my PlayStation never broke, I don't think I ever would have like discovered that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that's one thing I currently am learning. What about you?
It's fun watching your videos whenever you see them. Whenever you send them, I always watch them, and you're like so excited.
Right? It's so much fun. It's so much fun. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. What did I learned a lot. I feel like I learned a lot day in and day out, especially with like this company that I've just incorporated and I've started. But I will say the biggest thing that I learned this week would have to be time management and how bad I am at it. Like,
What you mean?
So because I've always played basketball, my life is like around, so like it's been surrounded by, or it's just gravitated around whatever I was doing as far as basketball.
Yeah.
So now that I don't have that, there's like all this time that usually somebody was telling me what I was supposed to do, but now I have the freedom to do what I want to do. And I don't always do what I need to do, or I spend too much time on one thing and then I don't get to another thing. So I've really been learning more about certain tricks and tips and stuff because I had to like search some stuff. I'm like, there's no way I'm only doing 2 or 3 things a day.
Right.
I'm not getting through anything. And when you start a business, it's really difficult when it's just you. So that's one of the things I learned was basically it's called like, I don't know, I forgot the terminology for it, but basically you cut up your time in like 25-minute intervals, and then you take like 5-minute breaks in between. And so that's supposed to increase your productivity, but also help you from not like burning out. Because I know with me, I'll get started on something and look up 5 hours later, like where did the time go?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So that's one thing that's been helping me because I tend to get overwhelmed really easily. And like when I first started with the company, I was having meltdowns like every 3 hours.
Jesus. Yeah, that's not healthy.
It wasn't. And I was like, I had to change something, but I realized it's just my management skills are not that good. I thought they were because I was like, I play basketball as an athlete, but it's like somebody always determined my schedule for me. Right. So I never really learned how to do it myself. I'm learning how to do that now. So
that's dope.
Yeah, that one just came to me.
I feel like that's why a lot of like creatives and stuff kind of struggle with like getting projects done. I mean, there's other reasons too, obviously, but I think the time management thing, especially when you're doing like your own stuff or like self-employed, is like, dude, it all falls on you. You decide like how much you work, when you work, and people get burnt out because they work too much or they don't do enough. And yeah.
I will say the plants have been, I mean, unfortunately at their expense, but they've been very helpful because it's like I keep them in the room with me, so I'll look at them and like one of them is like dying, and I'm like, oh my god, what? And I realized I haven't watered them in 5 days, and I'm like, oh my god. So they're helping me to manage my time and then to block my time. So around 8 a.m., I know I need to water the plants or at least move them a little bit.
Well,
You know what
you
I'm
want them
saying?
every day?
No. I
Oh,
said
okay. I was
water
about
them
to say.
or move them.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I was about to say you might be overwatering, right?
I was doing that too.
They had the brown tips and stuff.
But one of them about to die.
Why you say it like that? One of them about to die.
I'm trying to save it. I think what I did is I packed the soil into like two,
Mm.
it's where it can't. It's suffocating. I'm suffocating it. My
Yo.
baby.
um, one thing I said earlier, I was talking about like the whole thing of me breaking my game and everything. It made me think about like a how we're sometimes. I was gonna say we get distracted, but I guess it's sometimes we get complacent with like where we're at. You know what I mean? Like I can't say that. What's that?
Go ahead. No, I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, okay. No, I see your mouth move like, oh, she said something. No, but I think sometimes we get complacent. Um, Not just in terms of like, because sometimes people think complacency only means like where I'm at in life, but I think we get complacent. What the hell? We get complacent with like our creativity. You know what I mean? Like I know like oh, I'm funny, you know what I mean? I'm a funny dude, so like I'm gonna stick with comedy. But it's like, what about if you want to like venture out into like drama or horror or like these other things? I can't just be complacent with just being good at comedy because I could end up doing something which I'm realizing is I'm pretty good at like dramatic pieces. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I'm able to tap into these different things, but
Yeah.
that wouldn't happen if I didn't like open up. And so the
Yeah.
same thing with the games. Like I I think I've gotten like comfortable with where I'm at creatively. Why am I struggling to talk? Creativity.
You making that word?
No, but I think that I had gotten complacent with where I was creatively. Um, Kind of like making like little videos here and there, taking my acting classes, but not really expanding on like what else I can do. And I think the game was something that kind of just like was my way of like going through the motions and everything. And so when that messed up, it kind of knocked me off of like my equilibrium. It
Yeah.
became, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like I gotta find something else to do. Like, cause now I can't just play the game to distract myself. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
be just with myself. I don't want to be on social media all day.
Yeah.
And then I think that just made me like, I don't know. I just started like exploring myself, like what do I like? Like what fuels me creatively?
Yeah.
And music has always been like whenever I'm editing stuff like that. So this is one thing I do when I edit. I always put music in, and that'll give me like the rhythm of like the pacing of the edit, and then I'll take the music out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, I love music, and I want to eventually learn how to produce beats and stuff like that. I done tried before. Them shits was boom, 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 boom. I'm like, oh, that shit sounds bad. Be bobbing my head. That should be terrible. But I'm like, well, why don't I just take what people already made and make that sound good mixed with other songs that people already made,
Mm-hmm.
aka DJing. And dude, I can literally do that for hours. It's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like you create a whole mix of like I think about when I'm out in clubs and stuff like that, and the DJ really is responsible for like the way the night goes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People go out, hey, like a good DJ, you don't
Shoot
even
the
notice.
DJ. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or like cause he just makes shit fluid. You know what I mean? Shit sound good. You vibing. Hey, this my shit. You know what I'm saying? But if he's bad, yo, what is he playing? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm about to. Y'all trying to go somewhere else, man? This shit kind of ass.
Hey, I done
But
did it a couple times. Like, y'all know what? Or like they playing a good joint and then they switch to some trash and then like the dance
yeah,
floor just clears out.
yeah, and that got to be a terrible feeling. You try to change it, man. Or like when it's like the best part. All I gotta do is put my never would have made it. I'm like, what? What did you just? Why you change that?
That wasn't cool. Like that wasn't read the room.
Yeah. But no, so yeah, I think just want to talk about complacency. Have you ever felt like you've gotten complacent with not just creatively, but I guess just where you're at in life?
Yeah. I think my complacency, like it's the same feeling as yours, but in a different context.
How so?
So I think my complacency, because I've always been driven as far as like professionally, and
Mm,
wanting to have a certain job or to do something um within whatever I got my degree in, which it wasn't necessarily for me. It was more so for other people. So I could say, I have this job, and
mm,
people would look at me like, oh, okay, that's cool, rather than, I work here, and they're like, oh, what
mm.
else are you going to do with your degree? And so I think in the same sense as you, like when you get into that, I got a job and it's cool. I mean, it's not really doing exactly what I want, but I do a little bit of what I want, so that's all right. I think that's when you start to get into those feelings of just kind of complacency, stuck, just, I mean, whatever, it's cool, but it's not really like fulfilling me. This isn't
Right.
something that I'll do for hours on end and love every second of it.
Mhm.
But I think once we step out, because we're when we get in that it's not necessarily that it's bad, but it's more so that it's comfortable.
Yeah.
Like it's predictable. Our brain seeks predictability because it's easier to survive in an environment where I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's scary when you venture out into the unknown because you don't know what's going to happen. Um, and so that has always been my thing as far as professionally, is venturing out and maybe not taking a certain job because it's not necessarily what I want. I want something a little different. I'm not sure if that ties in very well, but I was trying to make it tie in to what you were saying.
No, no, I get what you're saying. So for you, like you mentioned, sometimes like we get comfortable. How do you step outside of your comfort zone? Like, what are the things that help you do that?
um, One is recognizing what's comfortable to me, and then recognizing what I'm afraid of. Because a lot of times, what you're afraid of is usually the things that will help you grow.
Yeah.
Like I'm afraid to not have a job that's, has a certain type of title. I'm afraid to pursue owning my own business because I don't know if it'll work out. But that's something that has always been a passion of mine. I've just been afraid of it, you know.
That's so weird to me though? Like, because Will Smith said this one thing. He was like, sometimes the things that bring us the most joy are on the other side of fear.
Agreed.
And I never understand, like, why do our brains, and I'm not like asking you this because I'm not sure if you know it, but like it just blows my mind how our brains can hold us back from the things that bring us the most joy. Like the resistance we get from ourself stops us. Like even I keep bringing up my acting class, but I've always wanted to be an actor, and like I feel like I've always been destined to be one because of like I've always been. I was in acting class. Man, I was in the damn play when I was in third grade. But like, you remember that? I was in
The
Tom
Tom
Sawyer.
Sawyer.
Yeah. Like I was in Everybody Hates Shakespeare in middle school. I took a college intro to theater class, and it's always been a thing that I've never chosen, but it's always been around me. And like even when
Mm-hmm.
I started doing it out here, I was terrified to go to acting class. I was terrified because one, I didn't want to know like how much stuff I didn't know. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
then the second thing was like I was afraid. I was just afraid to do it. You know what I mean? But I know looking back now that I've gotten into it, it is the most amazing thing that I've done.
Yeah.
It brings me so much joy. I can literally do it all day. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And the fact that it was just so much resistance and so much that was holding me back and pushing me away from doing it. Like, why do our brains function like that? I don't get it. But I don't know, just leaning into it. You know what I'm saying? Leaning into that fear or that vulnerability. Like that's when we, like you said, find the most growth
Yeah.
and find the most joy.
Yeah. 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 And you can definitely see like the difference in you. The When you start pursuing things that like really make you feel alive, that's when we start connecting more.
Yeah.
Like as people, we start connecting more with people. We're not hiding behind these facades anymore. Like this is who I am authentically, and people resonate with that. I feel like the fear comes from, because I feel like when we're children, we are as authentic as we probably ever will be. But as we grow up, we receive messages that tell us certain things are dangerous.
Mm,
Those messages usually are instilled by other people who perceive things as dangerous. Their brain's telling them, oh, this is dangerous. But that doesn't necessarily mean that. What are they trying to protect you from? They probably don't want you to end up, I don't know, with no money and no job. And, they're trying to protect you from things. But in doing so, it actually does more harm because there's, like I said, it's uncertain what's going to happen. You don't know if it'll work out or not.
Right.
It's always worth a try, though.
That's one thing I can say about mom and dad though is like me with the whole move out here, dropping out of school, dropping full scholarship. They have been supportive the entire time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
like, especially, I mean, mom, but both of them are, but dad just be so proud. You know what I mean? He be
Doing
showing me up, crying and stuff. But that it makes me happy. But then it also makes me think about people who don't have that same um line of support. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That support from the people who mean the most to them.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's tough.
Yeah,
That's tough.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
I think that, that's actually the beauty with social media and the internet now is you might not have that support from your like direct loved ones, but you can find it now. You can
Yeah,
find Facebook groups, you can find people on Instagram, you can find people on TikTok that share similar interests with you and connect with them. And you don't have to be in the same city, the same country. That's cool. That's amazing to me.
yeah. Ah, man, I just be this talking about the fear thing too. I think 'cause I just be so torn with social media, man. Like I'd be so torn, and I don't. It's not social media. It's the human nature aspect that fuels social media.
What do you mean?
Um, like talking about fear. I'm just thinking about like acting. I'm gonna just bring it back to acting again. When I see my peers, people my age that are like on shows and stuff like that, it's like, damn, this dude is good as shit. We're the same age. Why would anybody pick me? You know what I'm saying? I'm nowhere near that. And then it starts to make me like go back into like this complacency or like, you know what I mean? Let me just play 2K, bro, because there's no point to anything that I'm about to do. What is
Mhm.
acting class gonna do? And
Mhm.
so I don't know. I think I'm trying to think how to word this. Because I think people like sometimes when people see stuff like that and be like, oh yeah, he's just lazy or like, you know what I mean? But it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just your
Yeah.
fear of fail. I guess your fear of failure or
Not being enough.
not being enough, yeah. And I think that damn, dude, I'm like, I cannot think how to word this shit. And it's frustrating the hell out of me.
That's okay.
Um, but yeah, I think that's like another part of social media.
So you're talking about like the negative side of social media.
Yeah, well, just how it taps into like our vulnerabilities.
Yeah. Okay. I got what you're saying. Okay. Like how it can be a change agent in finding communities that are just like you, but it can also reflect to you where you want to be but aren't and
Yeah,
kind of make you feel bad about
yeah,
that.
like, and it's a weird phenomenon. Like, I find this group. Let's say I just find a group of actors. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
it's like, oh, like I found a community I'm a part. And then you see Lauren Moss, who's the same age as Landon Moss, and she's over here on Insecure and blah blah blah. I'm like, yo, what the hell? We're the same age. She with Issa Rae. I'm sitting here in my like what? I'm in here playing 2K. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but what's the point
Mhm.
of this shit? Like she,
Yeah.
but sometimes I think a bad thing is like that type of stuff will cause people to have like some type of resentment
Yeah.
towards others. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Which
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
weird thing. I mean, I'm getting a little off subject, but like,
No, it's fine.
yeah, that's just it's kind of crazy to me, like how our brains work.
I think it's because we've been programmed with this scarcity mindset, this idea that there's not enough and
Mm,
that only a select few people can have certain things and the rest of us just got to scrap for the crumbs,
mm,
right? I think that's what it is because and this is a lesson that I'm starting to learn. I just got a new mentor and she's been really drilling into me like the concept of the world is very very abundant. Like we have the resources, we just don't, either we don't recognize it, we don't realize it, or we're not using those resources as efficiently as possible. But the
mm.
world in itself is abundant. And I was gonna make a point, but I had a total brain fart. What were you saying?
I honestly don't know. I don't
Peanut
know
butter.
why. Go ahead.
What? No, I said peanut butter, so we would know. To what were you gonna say? You don't know why? What?
I was gonna say I don't know why I'm having like a lot of brain farts today.
Me too, bro.
It's weird.
Yo, I was like, I cannot be the only one right now that's like, I'll have a thought and it's a good thought, then I get started on it, and then I fucking
Blank. But
blank the fuck out.
it literally just happened when I was saying that thing earlier. I
Yeah.
was talking, and as I'm talking, that shit's like, no, I'm gonna holler at you, bro. I'm about to step out. Like, nigga, we in the middle of the show. What are you doing?
What are you
Nigga, I
doing?
need you right now. He said, I'm kind of tired, bro. I'm gonna holler at you, man.
I'll be back later. Bro, I literally have been like, get it together. Landon over here holding the show up, get it together.
Hey, I think that might be, you know what is insane about you saying that? That's how I feel with you. I'm like, Landon, get it together. Gabby needs you. She is out there on a limb, and nigga, you ain't helping nobody. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
Oh no, bro! But I literally have been like, I was like, I'm not contributing shit.
No, I feel
Landon Moss mentality.
Nah, hey, I honestly feel like I don't know. It just blows my mind sometimes how like we think
exactly alike.
yes. Bruh, it is wild. And then also like we think we ain't doing enough. You know what I'm saying? The same shit. I'm like, damn, like niggas talk more. Like say something else. So I start saying shit just to say something. The distractions they help me to see comfortability of the lack of intelligence. Nigga, what?
I'm like, damn, Landon's making a good point. I gotta come with something. Help him out, goddammit.
Yo, I wonder why our brains work like that.
Fear.
What do you think it is? Like fear of not like help, like I don't like kind of like fear of not living up to your partner's level of
standards.
Yes. Do you feel like I'm gonna judge you or something?
No, I don't feel like you're gonna judge me. I think it's like, am I doing enough? You know,
Yeah.
am I contributing enough? Or is he out here struggling without me? Like he's like, wait, you can pull your weight, or you know, that's what And then a little bit of it is like we've been getting such good reviews. I'm like, can I sustain that? Can we sustain that shit?
Yo. I think, Lauren, that falls into like this episode of like motivation. You know what's crazy? I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, dude, today's Monday. Like, we got to do another episode. And I was like, I was kind of like nervous. Like, dude, these have been going so good. I don't want to like fuck this up. You know what I mean? And I think I started like thinking about you, like, because I'll look at your clips. I'll be like, damn, she just knows her shit. Then I look at mine. I'll be like, shit. I'm like, nigga, what? Just talk, spit it out. But I think I don't know. And you know what's crazy? Earlier in this episode, when I was saying some of the stuff I was saying, I'm like, that doesn't sound good. Like, make it sound good, bro. Like,
bro, I could sense it. I swear to God, I could sense it. I was like, he's not being himself. Like, I was like, what you're saying is good, but like, there's just something, I can't put my finger on it, but I can always tell when it's not fully you, or you're not fully into it. I know what it was, but yeah.
I think it's just like, man,
should have known it was exactly what I was thinking.
No, honestly, because like I always say, like you are like one, the most important person in my life. You know what I mean? And then two, I really look up to you. Like I genuinely like look up to you, like your work ethic. You know what I mean? Like just how you can articulate what you're thinking. Like I really admire that shit. And so I sometimes I feel like, damn, like I don't do that good enough, and I got to do it a certain way, not just for you, but just to make sure that we sound like we're on the same level. Because sometimes I'd be like, damn, dude, I feel like I don't know as much shit as you. Like I look like inferior. Not necessarily inferior, but just that I don't really know my shit like you, but I don't think that's even if I don't, that's all right.
Yeah, and that's also because I noticed you said that in when we did our live. You were like, you say it because you say it better, and I'm like, here's the thing. I articulate stuff because I have been trained to articulate stuff because I am terrified if I don't articulate it, people will see me as inferior. It's not, I didn't do it because like I'm just good at it. It was fear-based to get to this point.
Yeah.
Whereas you have always been yourself and you've always been authentic. And that's something that I admire about you. That regardless of what anybody thinks, you're going to speak however you speak. And either you take it or you don't, but I'm not changing. That has always been inspirational to me because I have changed who I am and how I speak so that whoever I'm speaking to will view me a certain way. So I get it, like wanting to articulate your thoughts and all that, but I think it's just as important to speak how you speak. People can get turned down by the way I speak, but they hear you and say, that's me, you know?
Mm.
When you see somebody speaking and they sound like you, it's like, that's me. I can see
Yeah.
me. So it's important that you speak however you speak. Whether you think it's articulate or not, speak how you speak because the people that need to hear the message in the way that they understand it, they're going to hear it.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel that.
Yeah.
Made me feel good, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, dude, just fear. It's weird, man. Fear is such a crazy thing. How it just drives us to do shit.
Yes.
You know what I
Everything.
mean? Like literally.
Everything.
Oh my goodness. This yeah, it's weird. It's a
Yeah.
weird thing that we
Yeah.
talk ourselves out of shit. We talk ourselves into being things that we're not
Yes.
because we're afraid.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
wild.
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I think too another thing that comes with getting outside of fear is expanding your horizon of
Mm-hmm.
or like just educating yourself. Why do you keep calling
I
these
see how you did
goddamn
that.
you seen that? You seen that?
Yeah.
But
I
like
seen that.
but not like expanding our horizon and seeing that there are more possibilities than the things that we think or
Yep.
that we know, like our
Yep.
experiences. Like the world is so much more than the things that we've experienced.
Yes.
And I think one thing that really made me realize that was when me and Cody went to Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it just opened your eyes. I think it was like two different lessons I learned. Well, two different like ways I learned lessons. One was just from seeing how people were and like their way of living is just so different and it works. You know what I'm saying? Like the way we live isn't the way to live. Like it's well, not I want to say it's the way, to live, but it's not the only way to live. Like there's other
Yeah.
ways people can live and operate and flourish. And then them seeing them and the way they looked at us, like they
How did
were
they look
like
at? Oh,
it was. We took pictures with like babies. I took a picture. Someone had me hold their baby.
yeah. I was like the president.
Yeah, but like I think it just blows my mind because like they only know what they've seen. And so
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I genuinely felt like the way they were looking, some of them have never seen black people in person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's like, oh, this is what a black person is like, or like looks like. And then when we have like a little interaction, oh, that's what a black person's like. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
now it's like my original perspective of how black people are has kind of maybe not completely shifted, but like, oh, okay, that was different than maybe what I thought it
Yep.
was.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
so this is another thing. I'm gonna keep rambling. Another thing,
Continue.
in my acting class, we did this thing, and so our teacher. By the way, shout out to Elizabeth Mesnick, Miss Mesnick. She was my acting coach. Amazing woman. She is incredible. Just the way she actually like genuinely cares for her students. Like I had this
Mm-hmm.
one moment when I was like in a real like funk. I was in a funk, and I was going. I was having like having a little exercise with one of my classmates, and I literally was like, I don't want to be here. Like I'm sorry, I'm just not here right now. And she was like trying to push me and stuff like that, and I was just like, I didn't feel it. And she was like, okay, well, you can either if you want, you can step out of class, or you can just what I mean, just mute your screen and you can just be here. And then like damn near immediately after she texted me, she was like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Just even if that was all that, even if it just left off right there, the fact that she texted me meant so much that like, oh, she genuinely cares about me and like my
As a
well being.
person. Mm-hmm.
But to take it a step further, after we talked a little bit, she suggested like, you know, what I mean, just talking about the importance of like taking care of your mental health, and like she was suggesting therapists and like prices and like just that type of stuff is that means so much because then it, like that really gives you the feeling like this is a safe space.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But anyways, back to what I'm saying. So she gave me this activity, and basically you got well the whole class activity, $250,000, and you have to spend every single dollar. And yeah, I don't know. The thing that I wanted to do was like, and I think I genuinely want to do this. Like, I want to expand the ideas of what we can be to kids that are in like some of the inner city. I hate inner cities, but in inner cities, you know what I mean? Because for a lot of those people, all they know is the city that they're in.
One reality.
Some people have never even been to the beach. You know what I mean? Like there an episode on Insecure, she took the kids to the beach and stuff, and they were like, "Oh, having so much fun!" Like some of them had never been crossed the county lines.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, like that. I don't know. I think that just blows my mind because how can you ever like learn more or understand that there's more to learn if you don't know?
Yeah.
Like you don't know what
Yeah.
you don't know.
If you've never experienced it, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's valid. And I think that's also I was watching some video and my mentor recommended this lady to listen to. Her name's Lisa Nichols, I think. I can't. She's a motivational speaker, and that was one of the points she was making. Was I knew that if I wanted to change my life, I had to get out of the environment that I was in. Like I had to change my mind mentally first, but I also had to change, where I was physically. Because if
Hmm.
I stayed in that reality, that's what I would repeat, and that's what my son would repeat, and that's what his, what I'm saying, like I have to get out of that and
Yeah,
expand to realize that there's more to life than what I've known,
yeah,
you know and I think that goes back to your point with expanding your horizons. Is we have to explore different things to understand. We have to have the courage first to explore different things, to change the reality. If you want something different, you got to do something different.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's where fear comes in. Is exploring. I I think one of the biggest fears that a lot of people have is the fear of the unknown.
Yeah. Yeah. Tony Robbins, he's got it. There's 7 fears that he talks about, or seven, it's seven something. And one is certainty, like we want to be certain. And then two is uncertainty. We want uncertainty, but we don't want uncertainty.
What you mean?
He says humans, to an extent, we desire certainty. I want to know that when I come home, I can come home to a home. I can come home to the lights being on. I
Right.
want that kind of certainty. But
Hmm.
too much certainty becomes monotonous. That's where we start getting into our comfort zones and doing what we've always known because it's comfortable, but there's no uncertainty there. So we need a little uncertainty. But when you start teetering into too much uncertainty to where your mind doesn't know what's going to happen, now we start getting fearful. Well, what's going to happen? I, can I come? Will I be able to come home to a home? Will there be lights there?
Right.
So it's about having that balance and not leaning too far into either one, but knowing when to push into the other.
Yeah. When have you found like the I don't want to say I don't know if I would say like the most comfort, but like when have you found is like the best for you when it comes to like uncertainty? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I get what you're saying. Like what helps me deal with that
Yeah,
uncertainty?
yeah, yeah, yeah. There we go.
Um, One, knowing that it won't always be uncertain.
Mm,
That's one thing. Especially when I'm trying something new, it can become frustrating because I don't know what I'm doing. But I tell myself, like, there was a point where at one point I didn't know something and I became an expert at it. This is that same process. I'm at the first step,
yeah.
you know? And then as far as like things being uncertain, my environment being uncertain, telling myself that there are periods of uncertainty, there are periods of certainty. Lean into what is certain and embrace what's uncertain. And know that where there is uncertainty, there is possibility. So even though it's uncertain and it's scary, there's a possibility that this could work out and be bigger and better than I could have imagined. There's
Yeah.
two sides of the spectrum. Sometimes we tend to focus too much on the bad part.
Yeah. And that's one thing I think too, just to kick it back to social media. Someone, I think John Moss actually. He's this dude, he's a funny dude, a funny influencer. But one of the things that he did, he posted like two different, I think it was like two different versions of the same story, but one was like with a good spin on it, and one was like with a bad spin on it. And the one with the bad spin went crazy. And I always
Crazy.
wonder, why do people, like, I feel like people gravitate towards bad shit more than they do good.
Mm-hmm.
What why do you think that is?
I think because again, I think our minds are wired to try to predict the worst so that it can be
Mm,
prepared for it.
mm,
And so when you expect good, you're not prepared for the bad. But when you expect bad, the good is a plus, you know?
yeah.
So we're kind of hard, I think we're hardwired to immediately look at the bad just so we can be prepared for it.
Mm,
But the downside of that is when you're not conscious of it, you don't think you're worthy for the good.
yeah. I think that's where like the distractions come in too.
What do you mean?
Like just, well, this is kind of like going off the tail end of what you said about like the worthiness aspect of it. Like not feeling worthy of something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So we kind of like distract ourselves to like maybe like keep our mind off of it, you know what I mean? So we don't gotta think about it or
Yep. Yeah.
face reality.
Yeah. And we've got a lot of distractions. I mean,
Especially now.
yeah,
Well,
we've got a
maybe
lot of
not
distractions.
now, but like in our era.
Yeah, in our this day and age. Yeah, we've got a lot of distractions and they're fun distractions. That's
They
the
are.
thing. And
They
they
are.
make you feel good. So you don't realize that they're actually distractions,
Hmm.
you know? I think that goes back to like the whole PlayStation thing. Do you know, like, do you think you would have got into DJing if it hadn't have broke?
Oh, 100% no. I know I
Yeah.
wouldn't have.
No.
I wouldn't even. I would not have had that time to explore what the things that bring me joy. Because
Yeah.
to me, it's like this distraction. Even if it doesn't bring me joy, it's like it's something that's like I know what to expect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop 40 on somebody, but no, like
That's a given.
yeah, but like I don't know. I think we know what to expect, and it's just like it's not like numbing, but it's kind of like you just don't.
Getting
It's
by.
weird, yeah. Like you just doing enough to get by, or
Yeah.
I don't know, because like the exploration part of ourselves, that's one of the hardest things to do,
Yeah.
and it also takes time, which is like we have a terrible thing of like expecting results now. Think about like little stuff like you see let's say you're watching a show, right? You see an actor, yo, I know that actor from somewhere. Where's he from? Google the cast, find out who he is. Oh, he was in what's this movie. Instead of sitting there and like having that moment of like, what was he from? Was he from?
Like I
Nah, that
got
wasn't it.
gotta
I
know
gotta
now.
know
Gotta know
now.
now.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's the
Yeah.
same kind of thing with like, what do I like to do? I need to know now. I need to know now. Oh, I don't know. Oh, fuck it, I'll do it later. Or like, then getting frustrated with yourself for not knowing.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know?
I feel like that's also why so many millennials in particular have like quarter life crisis
Oh yeah.
because it's I'm 20, 25, I'm 26, and I don't know what to do in my life. I mean, I was going through that last year. So
Me too.
yeah, because I think at some point we're so used to getting things quickly that it when for the things that take us a little longer to get, it's like, well, something must be wrong. If I don't know it now, I'm never gonna know it. Like I should know it, you
Yeah.
know.
Hmm.
Um, and it kind of goes back to I don't remember what episode when we were talking about just feeling like I wasn't where I should be in life.
Hmm.
because of society standards about where I should be.
Right. I think
It
that's
goes
another
like
thing
that.
that like kills our motivation.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
definitely,
It's like
definitely.
it's like, dude, and the same thing of like the worthiness aspect of it. Like, what's the point of me doing this? Like, I'm gonna just use the DJ example, which I don't feel like this, but like if I was trying to make a little mix and that shit sound like ass, I'm like, what's the point? Oh, I'll give an actual example. So, I was playing a game and shit, and so I was like, I'm gonna try to play on PC, and so I grabbed my mouse and keyboard. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm gonna start playing it. The first game I played got slaughtered. Second game I played got slaughtered. Third game, I'm like, bro, like this is like, what's the point of this? It's not even fun. Like, dude, and I'm like, I'm not about to play it no more. That's like, I'm not about to play it no more. I had played it lower for about maybe 15 minutes. Why did I expect to instantly drop down and be how I am on PlayStation?
Completely different. Completely different.
Yes, like
Yeah.
I completely eliminated the process.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The same process that I had on
Yep.
PlayStation, I took it away on PC because I expected instant results. And this is the
Yeah.
same thing that a lot of us do with our
Yes.
careers or like
Yes.
where we want to be in
Yes.
life. We don't care about the process. We know the goal, and that's where we want to
Right.
be,
Right.
but we don't
Right.
care for the process to get to it, the
Yes.
journey.
Yes. And that, I mean, that goes into every faucet, like your professional life, your relationships, like
Hmm.
your own healing, like there's a process to it. That was one thing when I first got in therapy for about 2-3 months. I was just like, I should be healed right now. Like I shouldn't be dealing with the
Right.
stuff that I'm dealing, like I should get it. It took me 25 years to get to where I am now. And all of a sudden I'm supposed to just get it in 3 months,
Hmm.
you know? So yeah, that's an excellent point, is that embracing the process. And I feel like when you pursue things that you're doing it for yourself because you love it, because you're passionate about it. I think it was Kobe that said it, and he was saying that the journey is the dream.
Mm.
And like
Hmm.
when you fall in love with the process, the end result is just the icing on the cake. You know?
That was on School of Greatness.
Yeah, was that when he said it?
Yep.
The
Yep.
journey is a dream. Yeah, yeah. That's always stuck with me. Is the journey is a dream. Once you find that journey where you just you love it, every second is. I mean, every second I'm there. I'm in it,
Yeah.
making mistakes and going with it.
And I think, yeah, once you start realizing like the mistakes are gonna be worth it, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you mess up like real bad, but it's like, damn, I gotta like, why did I wrong? It's like you still are motivated to continue. That's
Right.
when you know you found your passion.
Yes. 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 That's definitely it. And it shines through too. I mean, you look so happy when you're doing your little mixes and stuff. When you called me, you had the phone, like the phone was all in your face. You just like, I was like, you're so happy. I
It's
love
so much
it.
fun, man. It's so much fun.
So, we're at 15. We got 15 minutes.
15 minutes left. Cool.
Yeah,
So we motivation or lack thereof, distraction that keeps us comfortable, seeking discomfort, expand horizon. We pretty much touched everything.
we did. We're. I think we're getting more efficient with our time.
Yeah, man. I hate that we started off like, I mean, I don't hate it, but I just wish I could come into this thing more comfortable.
It's gonna okay. We just talked about
Yeah.
process. It's okay. Have we ever done a podcast before?
Well, I mean, we had the radio show.
Okay, a podcast is different though.
True, true, true.
And then on top of that, we're not. It's not like we're in the same room together.
Right,
And it's. I don't want to say it's weird, but it's there's a bit more formality to it than if we were talking on the phone.
right,
So
right.
it is a different environment, I'll
Yeah,
say, and it's a different situation that we're still navigating. Granted, we can take some of the stuff that we learned from the radio show and some of the topics that we talk about when we're on the phone, but it's still its own thing.
yeah.
So it's gonna take some time. I ain't gonna lie, I be on here be nervous.
I think
Like, why am I nervous?
that's what I like, dude. We ain't got no audience right now. Like, ain't nobody live watching us. We sitting here talking to each other.
Honestly, when we talk on live, we're more relaxed when we're on live.
Yeah, I wonder why. I really wonder why. Like it's weird to me how I'll start. Are you ready? And then like my heart's like beating. You know what I'm saying? What is going on with my body?
Perceiving something.
Yeah.
Yeah. That that's honestly, I talked about this on one of my Instagram posts for to myself from myself, is that has been the best thing for me when trying to determine what my thoughts are telling me, because sometimes it's difficult to identify them. But I always know they're going amok when I start feeling something.
Mm.
Like when I start feeling anxious, when I start feeling overwhelmed, I literally will stop whatever I'm doing now and say, all right, what am I thinking? And then talk myself through it. Okay, I'm thinking that, like, for example, I just started using in stories for like Instagram stories or whatever.
What was
And
that?
basically they're it's like Canva, but for Instagram stories.
Hmm.
Well, you don't know what Canva is, do you?
Yeah, yeah. I
Oh,
use
okay,
it.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
use
I was like, okay, I had to make sure. Not
it.
everybody. But it's like Canva, but for Instagram stories. And these templates are stunning. Like they are really nice.
You got to
So
pay
I'm
for them?
going through. No,
Oh,
no, they have like a pre. Actually, yeah, you do, but they give you like a seven day trial.
okay.
Um, but I'm looking. Yeah, go through and look at it. It's called In Stories. But I'm going through and I'm looking through and I'm like, they're so nice. Oh my gosh! And I'm trying to edit one, and I'm getting frustrated, and I start feeling overwhelmed. Stop. What are you feeling? I feel overwhelmed. Why do you feel
Mm.
overwhelmed? Because these are so nice, and the stuff that I'm putting together does not look like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Have you ever used this before? No. So it's probably not going to look like that on the first go round. Give it a couple more tries. So,
Have they improved?
no, but I just started using I just started using it today. Like this is
Oh,
literally, yeah,
okay,
this is
okay,
literally from today.
okay.
And yeah, that's one thing that I've been having to do a lot, is I'm doing a lot of new stuff. So it's going to be overwhelming, which is why I was having meltdowns every 3 hours the first couple of weeks, is because I'm like, oh my God. Finally, I've gotten to the point where whenever I start feeling that, stop. What are you feeling? What is that voice saying?
Mm.
How can you reframe it? That's the important part. How can you reframe it?
Has that helped out?
Oh yeah, tons. I mean, I have been way more um what's the word, efficient with my time, because
Mm.
I'm not having meltdowns every 3 hours. Um, but yeah, and just it's like you were saying, it's more of a learning, and it's fun when there's not this nagging voice like you got to get it right
Right,
now.
right.
It's like, oh, I'm learning, I'm figuring it out. So yeah,
That's dope.
kind
That's
of went
good,
on a
man.
tangent.
Nah, that's all good. That's all good because I feel like I feel like this is another thing that's crazy to me is how sometimes we'll feel a certain way, and then what you said, oh, I feel that way too. I feel that way too. And it's like, oh, all y'all feel the same way. Oh shit, I thought it was just me.
We all love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man, it's crazy how you realize how. I mean, when you realize how connected we all are.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like we all experience these same kind of like. I mean, it varies, but it's like the same general like feelings and about ourselves and about others and stuff
yeah.
like that. So
Yeah, I was listening to something and it was saying your individual experience is unique, but your experience as a human is shared.
mm, mm, that's
So like nobody has lived my experience exactly as I have, but the experiences that I have as a human, other people have lived,
yeah,
and can relate in some degree.
yeah,
So, yeah, just keeping that in mind, keeping
yeah.
that top of mind.
Question: where do you want to be? Random. Where do you want to be in not even 5 years? January 1st, 2021. Where would you like to be?
Retired. Retired, and that's one thing my mentors really like put on me, is define what you want your reality to look like. Like what would the perfect life look like? And to me, the perfect life would look like not working.
Mm,
Like not working in the sense of not having to sit down at a computer. I really, 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 really enjoy teaching and learning.
yeah,
So if in 5 6 months, all I'm doing is teaching people and learning, I'm set. and getting paid well to do it, that's the perfect life to me.
Yeah.
Is where I can just learn, I can play, I can teach. That is it. So yeah, January 2021, I'd be retired and I'd just be teaching, helping other people get to that point or reach whatever goals that they want to reach. Helping other people break free of that voice that changed them to things that they don't enjoy or that don't bring them joy. And getting paid well to do it, because then that means I can go and do whatever I want to do, and I'm not chained to an office, to a cubicle. Like, that's not the life that I want to live.
Yeah.
What about you?
Man, I don't know. I just know that because I don't know where Hollywood's gonna be in by 20. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's gonna be back to like sets running how they used to run, but I want to be somewhere on set as a reoccurring role on the show. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily have to be. I ain't got to be the star of it. But just,
would you want to be?
Yeah, of course, I'd want to, but even if it's like because I want to be like star role. If I ain't got that, then that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
even a reoccurring role is just that's cool. I just want to be something that gives me consistency and something that's stepping out of my comfort zone. You know what I mean? And then creating a new comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then hopefully this will be thriving by then. We really be, you know what I'm saying, comfortable and thriving in front of these damn microphones.
Get up here the first 10 minutes, we nervous.
I'd be like, man, I hope we don't mess this up and then be 10 minutes in and people be like, okay, I'm turning this shit off. These niggas nervous, don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Be thinking crazy stuff, but it's like when we are authentic and when we start really flowing, that's when people be like, oh man, that was so good. Like, that really resonated with me. If that's a lesson, I don't know what is, is when we get out of our own way and start speaking our truth. That's when people resonate. That's when people are like, yo, I feel that, you know?
Yeah, because it's the truth. You know what I mean? Not like, and then I felt that I'm like, why am I talking like that? I don't even know what word I'm looking for.
Who is this? Who am I? Yeah. No, that's, we have 6 minutes left.
Damn. And we can wrap it up early. I don't think it's a problem.
Oh, no, I know. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like, dang, time is going slow.
Yeah, it is going slow. I think, do you feel like it's like, damn, I want to kind of end this thing?
Yeah, I feel like we've made our points, you know?
Yeah, same.
And it's like, shit, do we have to go to 60? Because, I mean, we did it.
Nah, I think we could. The other one was like an hour and 3 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I think as long as we stay within that realm of an hour-ish. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We ain't got to wait till like, all right, then 9, 5, 4, 3, 2, well, 60. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, once we think we hit our points, we close this mug out, start that music up, and then boom, boom, gotta go.
A boom, boom, bop. And I also feel like we should probably keep, this is going against, whatever, how I 100%. Normally am. But I feel like we should keep it because I think it's important.
Yeah.
It's important to see and to hear.
I was going to keep it.
Oh. Okay, what you were saying, or what you going to say is get kept. Okay. Yeah, no, I think that's 100%. Cool.
I mean, there's some stuff that I might cut out, but like minor stuff.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like,
just dress it up, tweak it a little bit.
Right. But for like, I'm keeping damn near 100% of it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Because I think that was a message in itself.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Agreed.
We learned it live on the show. A whole ass lesson.
Y'all learning with us. Okay. All right, cool. You ready to wrap it up?
Let's wrap this thing up, man. Hey, so once again, thank y'all so much for joining us for another episode of Southern Hospitality, where me and my sister talk about the Black millennial experience in America. I'm your co-host, Landon Moss.
And I'm Lauren Moss.
And we're going to have something next week for y'all next Thursday, man. Stay tuned, and we out.